a like fashion when he was speaking out about, things that were of issue to the rest of us. You didn't hear some of these other coaches. I wonder what Daryl Morey was saying about that.
Well, that's right. That's
right. Where was he on those particular issues? So it's just a matter of, what you want to, not to suggest that he wasn't for it, but he wasn't out in the forefront. So do we want to say that because he wasn't out in the forefront that meant he was for it? You don't know. No, people I think speak out, as you said, about what they're passionate about, and it's free speech is free speech. I find Shaquille is the first. He kind of breaks the ice, but he's not playing anymore.
Oh,
but,
no.
Yeah. So, but he does have a contract, so he does
sure
have, he has a job that he's got to worry with. But he's like the new up and coming George Foreman, and people love Shaq.
Oh, sure.
But he can almost say anything.
Well, and we received another comment, which was interesting, from our chat line, and it says, "Not that China cares about the U.S., but is the money more important than human rights? These players with these foreign endorsements were born after the time we boycotted gas companies, investing in South Africa, the whole apartheid fight, all these things." What are your thoughts on that comment, Thimbat?
I don't know. When you get into politics, you get people over here talking about stuff over there, and they don't understand politics over here. Yet they're all in the Kool-Aid over in China. I mean, all politics is local, in one way or the other. So do they really, understand all the issues, all the underlying issues? So sometimes it's you don't want to jump out in something if you don't know all of the facts. And so, it's difficult. On the one hand, you think you want to say something on the face of it, but when you turn around and all the foolishness that's going on with our government in China, every 2 days there's somebody talking about something that Trump's blaming China for this, or we're doing that, or, who wants to get in the middle? How is all of this stuff connected? Who's going to get in the middle of one thing and end up, it's almost like squeezing a balloon. You squeeze the air on one end and something pops out over here. You get this down.
Sure.
So you got a mess.
Well, what do you think, though, about that comment? Just about, is the money more important than the human rights?
No, I don't think so. But I think some governments sometimes think so. I don't. I'm never gonna see where money is going to be above human rights. I mean, somebody can try me. They can give me a whole bunch of money. Let me see. Anybody out there who's got just millions of dollars and wants to let me try it out, see where I would go, But no, I don't. I'm never going to take a side on against humanity for money. So I'm kind of always erring on the side of the folks of the downtrodden, because usually the money is beating people down. The people with the money are beating people down.
Well, and this goes back to the whole ethical argument, and you've got LeBron, and LeBron is like, hey man, China is paying me $1 bazillion, and don't bother me. And then you have folks on the other side saying, yeah, but if you think about it, when you look at the struggle for human rights, and particularly what the African American community went through, you would think that would resonate. Now, sometimes pocketbook issues don't resonate, and I'm not just limiting that to the African American community. So, free enterprise is what free enterprise is, and capitalism and the whole 9 yards. I just think it's something that's not going to go away when you tie politics and economics, and when people feel they've been betrayed or we don't like what you're saying, they're going to cut you off. And that's unfortunately another aspect of capitalism that folks don't sometimes understand. It's all connected. Ideally, in the perfect world, it's not supposed to be, but capitalism, politics, all of it is very intertwined.
True. You just say follow the money. That's true wherever you go, on any side.
So you just hope that hopefully the folks in Hong Kong will continue their struggle, and because you don't like to see people in suffrage anywhere in the world. That's just not a cool thing.
Right.
And and suffrage is not a local thing. It's gone on around the world since the world has been the world, a long time.
Right.
So again, but it's just interesting to see you have LeBron on one side of the issue and Shaq on the other.
Yeah, and just you just wonder what is it? What is it that is kind of holding there? Is it the money, or is it that he's under contract and you have to not say anything? I don't know because what makes you so bold in one situation and then a little less bold, we'll say, in another situation where people may be, suffering in a similar manner, or suffering where you have a voice where your voice could make a difference in their suffering, one way or the other.
Well, again, I think it's an issue that is not going away, and it's going to also force some people, and you notice I just said some, to look at what is the source of my income. Am I comfortable, number one, knowing that these things are going on and it's being supported by the people who are giving me this $1 million endorsement deal? Or am I willing to stand up on principle and say, nope, this isn't right, and I'm either going to say something or I'm not going to take the money? It just comes down to that. So it's a tough choice, I admit, because once you get to that level and you have bills to pay and child support and all these other things these guys and girls are dealing with, it might not be as easy as it and as noble as I'm making it sound.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, some other things may have transpired. Are you saying that we may be unaware of that are causing a self-imposed gag on some folks?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So you never know. But that was, I know that was kind of a quick transition, but again, these guys that are coming and girls that are coming out of college, they're going to have to face some of these same decisions in terms of, okay, I'm going to take this big endorsement deal from company A, which has these types of connections and these kinds of ties. Do you want to do it or don't you? And, that's a lot of money, particularly for someone who has struggled throughout their life. They want to provide for their family, or someone that's just caught up. It's a tough choice. It's a tough choice. And again, when you take it back one step even further, again, I'm the dean of the university of, I'm the dean at Wendell Phillips University. And, am I going to put my scholarship money into getting some wide receivers and some defensive ends? Or am I going to take that $250,000 and put it into some new microscopes for the science lab? And you will have regents and boosters and others that are like, look, if you can get that if you can get that guy John Smith to come in here as a fullback and Joe Smith, his brother, as a running back, we're going to pack that stadium every week. We're going to make about $50,000 to $100,000 for the next 11 Saturdays.
That's right, and we'll make enough money when the season's done, when we win all this stuff, to buy you a planetarium where you can put your microscopes, later on.
Yeah, exactly. But again,
telescopes, microscopes.
Exactly. But again, Thinbad, and my question for you and Ambezi is, when we get back to that whole scholarship piece, now imagine this, if you will, that you've got a mediocre student academically who has superior athletic skills, who gets into the university, and then I've got a 3.5 who has great SAT scores that doesn't make the cut.
But this athlete, but think about it, right? There are student athletes, but there are some athletes who don't have the grades because they've spent all this time into their sport. So if they don't get into school for their sport, they're screwed. The one with the academic with the 3.5, just because they don't get into that school, they will get into a school. Like, that's not a thing. Like, they're going to get in somewhere. But that athlete, you can't really say that.
Well, that's true, and that's my point. I'm the star football player at my high school. I broke every rushing record ever known to mankind, but I've got like a 1.01 average, and I'm still going to get that running back slot at the University of North Dakota.
But okay, but listen, if that person didn't take all that time to develop their skill to be that running back, then what?
Well, exactly.
Then what?
But what about what about little Johnny and little Jane that, again, they've gone to the SAT prep.
They will get in somewhere. Camps. They will get in somewhere. That is the reality of life. When you get good grades and you want to go to college, you do not get into every college you apply to, but you will get in. Like, relax. They will get in.
They don't always get into the school of their choice.
Maybe not of their choice, but they'll get in. Like, athletes, if they don't play enough to the caliber to get into the schools that they need to get into, it's over for them. Like, it's over. Like, they can't. Like, they're done. Unless they were an academic athlete, like a athletic scholar, then they're done. So
hush your face, child.
Listen.
She was fired up. She was fired up.
I'm just saying. You can't really.
You say it again. Say it again, Ambezi. Say it one more time. Put some hot sauce on it.
You cannot compare the two.
Hush your face.
Apples and oranges.
Hush your face.
Apples and oranges.
Period. It is definitely
apples and
oranges. No.
End of story. But smack him. Smack him.
That's it. But the interesting thing though is you still have that group of students that are like, wow, man, are you kidding me? I'm struggling to get a Pell Grant, and this joker goes to school 3 days out of the month, and he's got
you
housing.
should have been such a punk growing up.
He's
no.
Period. All right.
Don't be whining. And they'll be the ones going up there. Give me your autograph. Can you give me your old shoestring, please? I go to school with him. Can you take a selfie? Can you bend down? I can't get in.
Whatever, people.
I hear you, Chief. I hear you trying to say, man. There's room for everybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Everybody's got a gift. These cats can play ball. These athletes can play ball. That's their thing. Now, some of them are, you have the David Robinsons, in the world who are, smart and can play ball and can go off and do something else, serve their country. I mean, he did every damn thing. But you know, and then you got academic folks who, you know, their gift is their brain. They're going to help these cats hold on to their money a little longer. You know, when they get there. And can you read the contract for me? Yes, sir. Let me check the